Hello everyone, just Goran here, and the America's Animal Pack has finally been announced, so we know for sure that the White-faced Saki will be in it. So of course today we'll be looking at some White-faced Saki habitats. We've got so many amazing ones and I really want to cover them all in detail, so it's going to be a bit of a long one, but let's get started right away over here at Apenheul. Very fitting to start with the Monkey Zoo, and here we have a walkthrough enclosure for the White-faced Saki as well as the coppery titi and the silvery marmoset. Some very metal monkeys, I suppose. Yeah, it's an absolutely enormous enclosure. If you look on the right, you see this enormous bee hotel as well, which the monkeys actually love to go up to maybe get a little insect to snack on every now and then. Here we can see the coppery titi over here on this beautiful climbing frame, and this is also a place where I once saw the White-faced Saki, both the male and the female. I really wonder what the female is gonna look like in the game. They look very different to the males, so that will be exciting to see. Here we also have an indoor viewing area where you can see where the monkeys spend their time if they don't want to sit outside in the rain. And this is some older footage here. There were actually still some emperor tamarins running around this area as well, but they've been moved to another part of the zoo, so you don't see them here anymore. On the outside there is a small tortoise enclosure for the red-footed tortoise. It's another animal that is mixed with the White-faced Saki here. And yeah, the walking route continues along over here where you see more of these climbing frames and ropes all over the place, and of course all of these natural trees that they can climb into as well, which is just absolutely fantastic. I love it so much. And as we make our way out of the enclosure, we cross another one of these bridges that the monkeys cannot cross, and then we see their backstage over there also has some backstage holding in this small little cage, as well as some other things right there. So really cool stuff right there from Apenheul. Next up we have a much different enclosure at the Zoo of Amsterdam, Artis. Yeah, this is their outdoor enclosure. It's just quite a tiny glass box over here. They do have a second one as well, and if we go to the indoor part, we enter the small mammal house, which is where they can be found. Then you can see their indoor enclosure is quite similar, just this big glass box over here. Not horrible, but definitely not the best thing we'll see in this video, especially coming after Apenheul, which is one of the best things, to be honest. But they do have two of these indoor areas as well. There's a second one right here, which is a bit smaller. Probably used to be for a different animal. But yeah, and you can see there's even more off-show holding through that little gate there at the bottom. Next up we have one of my favorites, Avifauna. They have a beautiful South America area over here, which you already saw in the Rhea video a little bit. There we saw their kind of grasslandy habitat with the Rhea, anteater and some vicuña, but there is also a much more tropical area, which is a monkey walkthrough, and this is all of the backstages for all of the various monkeys that you can find on the island. There's also a donation sign where you can like donate to sponsor a certain plot of the monkey island, which is pretty cute. But yeah, many different backstages, but of course the highlight is the walkthrough right here. We've got another bridge with also these kind of bigger panels to prevent the monkeys from jumping over, I suppose. And then yeah, just a beautiful island right here with many trees and plants and ropes and climbing frames. It's so freaking cool. Over here you can see that island with all the bushes that connects the main island over here to the backstage, and as we keep walking we'll find some of the other monkeys that inhabit the island together with the White-faced Saki. So over here we have an emperor tamarin, which is absolutely adorable and cute, and then we also have the Saki itself, of course, which was absolutely beautiful in the sun. We've got red howler monkeys, which are loud and very awesome, and then we have the coppery titi once again, which actually had a baby, which I never saw the titi baby sitting on a titi monkey. They were actually constantly on whichever other animal they could find, like the Saki, but even the emperor tamarin, which were almost as big as the baby itself. So that was super awesome. I love all of the antics that happen when you put all of these different kinds of monkeys together. It's kind of a shame that we don't have as many New World monkeys in Planet Zoo that we can make these kind of mixes with. That's kind of a real shame, to be honest. But I'm sure mods will pick up some of the slack in that regard and we'll be able to make exhibits like this one, which is really awesome. Over here, pretty cool, we've got this box over here that has has a very small entrance so that the smaller monkeys can probably rest in there without being disturbed by the larger ones like the howlers, which is pretty cool. And yeah, that's pretty much it over here for Avifauna. Really awesome enclosure. I love this one so much. But now it's time to move to the Tierpark of Berlin, where we're entering the big monkey house, and over here we've got a window into this outdoor enclosure, which I think the White-faced Saki also has access to. I'm not quite sure. I didn't see the White-faced Saki at the zoo. I also couldn't find in my footage any signs of where they would be, but I do have some footage of the kitchen right there, which is pretty cool. And from ZooChat I saw that these type of enclosures would house the Saki. I'm not sure if these exact ones is the case, but still, for the iteration, that's it. And that's pretty much all the footage that I have from Tierpark Berlin, so forgive me for that, but at least you can see some of what the enclosures would be like. So yeah, that's that. Then next up we have Bio-Topia Dunkerque, where we have a bit of a small South America area with a little monkey enclosure as well. We have golden lion tamarins, which are really awesome, and there you can see the sign for the White-faced Saki. But all these monkeys and tamarins, here we have the Goldie's tamarin, they all share kind of the same spaces, and this whole backstage is for all of the monkeys as well. So yeah, it's just one big party right here. But yeah, more at the outdoor enclosure. As you can see, it's not that big, it's not that themed or anything. It's still pretty cool. The main centerpiece of this enclosure is this big tree. I want to say big, but it's not that big, but this tree, which it looks pretty dead. I feel like it is a real tree, and maybe this enclosure was still quite new when I visited, and now it will already have gotten some leaves perhaps, because I feel like if that tree got some leaves, this would be a pretty beautiful enclosure. But yeah, when I visited, it looked like that. It wasn't that spectacular just yet. But yeah, as you walk to the exit of the zoo, you get more views of that backstage of all of these monkeys, and you can see them moving around in the background. And then at the exit, they also had these really awesome murals, including one for the White-faced Saki, so it's pretty cool right there. Then we have GaiaZOO, which has this beautiful area with all sorts of different islands for different kinds of monkeys, and the one we're looking at right now is the one for the Saki. But on the other side of the bridge that we're standing on is another enclosure for capybara and capuchin monkeys. And the cool thing about that is that the water is actually connected between the enclosures, so the capybara can move around between them, which is really awesome. Then as we move ahead over here, we can see this awesome building with all of the plants growing over the roof. This is the backstage for the White-faced Saki, and here the education science also revealed they share this enclosure with the white-headed marmoset and the golden lion tamarin once again. We can see the backstage is relatively simple, very sterile, easy to clean. We'll see that in a lot of the zoos that we'll look at today. But yeah, awesome backstage building. It looks so freaking cool. And then here you have the enclosure, where you can see there's a lower part and some raised parts as well. The lower part is accessible to the capybara, and the raised parts is mainly there for the monkeys. Really beautiful. Then next up, Tierpark Hagenbeck. Yeah, this one isn't as exciting as some of the other ones. We're walking out of this Japanese garden, and we see this building over here. This is the indoor enclosure, and the outdoor enclosure is actually these ropes going over the visitors. This is not a walkthrough area. The monkeys can't get down from those. I'm not exactly sure how, but yeah, they stick to those ropes, I suppose. But that's all there is to see here. Next up, we have the Zoo Halle, the BergZoo Halle, where we are walking through the entrance, because actually one of the first animals that you see in the zoo are the White-faced Saki. They're in this cage structure that's kind of shaped the same shape as the building beside it, which is pretty interesting and cool. It looks like you're able to enter this place, but that is actually a locked door. That's just a keeper access, I suppose. But yeah, outside here you can see the Saki sitting in this relatively lush, nice enclosure. There's lots of climbing frames around, cool stuff. And as we make our way down here, we get to the building itself, where there is also a window into the indoor enclosure, where you can see the Saki sitting right there. And you can not only see the Saki here, but also a really cool other animal. This is the lowland paka, not found in that many zoos, and definitely super cool to see. So that was super awesome right there. Next up, we have Serengeti-park Hodenhagen, where we have another walkthrough enclosure. What's interesting about this one is that it's not with a moat, it's not with a net over it. It's actually just some not even that tall fences with some anti-climbing around it that create a pretty open environment, although the fence is pretty obvious and obtrusive. I also got the feeling that the zoo is a bit hesitant to make their climbing frames higher than the fence. Could be because that would be an escape risk, or maybe they just want to keep the animals at the height of the visitors to make the viewing experience better. Could be anyone's guess, really. But yeah, as you probably noticed already, they share this enclosure with the squirrel monkey, and there's actually also some agouti in this enclosure as well. But that's pretty much all I have to say about it. It's not super groundbreaking, but it's relatively spacious and nice. I don't have too much to complain about it. The animals seem to be vibing pretty well. And yeah, that's it. Let's go to the Zoo of Cologne, where we have a beautiful classical building right here. This is the South America house. Here's a small outdoor enclosure, which is signed to be for the White-faced Saki as well as the other monkeys that are in this enclosure. But the main enclosure is definitely here on the inside, which is this beautiful hall. Nice and tall, very tropical, climbing frames all over the place. It's truly a paradise for all the monkeys that call this place home. And you can also see we are actually on an elevated pathway, and there's even more enclosure below us with all of these beautiful plants. There's also sloth in here, and I got this beautiful encounter with the sloth. And in the same spot, the Saki also came really close, so that was absolutely awesome right there. But yeah, as you keep moving throughout this space, you see just how much awesome stuff there is. There's also lots of birds moving and flying around in this area. And as we move to the other side, you can see there is even more space there, including this beautiful waterfall that really adds to the ambience here. But there's also these aquariums with piranha. It's just so cool to see them from this kind of perspective. I wouldn't put an aquarium there. I would have never thought of that. It's a really awesome way to use all of the space in this building. And yeah, just really awesome stuff. Really awesome stuff. And yeah, you can see on the other side in the back wall, there's all of the backstages for the different birds and monkeys and stuff like that. As I got here in the morning, all of the White-faced Saki were all the way on the left in this backstage holding right there. And we can see another, I think that's a silvery marmoset. It might be something else walking around there as well. Really cool species. Here you also have a peek into the backstage, a little bit of a kitchen and some other stuff going on over there. And on the window beside that, you can see there are these kind of steel tunnels that connect this building up to the backstage of the howler monkeys, as well as something else we'll see in a moment. Even all the way out here, there are more climbing frames covering the exit. There's also an armadillo enclosure right there. But yeah, that's it for the indoor building. There is also this enclosure outside, which is mainly for the red howler monkeys, I believe, but it is also connected via those tunnels to the indoor area. So I feel like they could, if they wanted to, let the monkeys out into this enclosure as well. Yeah, just a super awesome exhibit. I love this so much. This was one of my favorite exhibits of the zoo. It was just such a unique way to use this old classical building as a South America house. So really awesome stuff right there. Next up, we have the Zoo of Krefeld, where we are entering a rainforest house over here. Beautiful tropical dome. Not exactly a dome, but you know what I mean. As we go inside, we got a little tamandua blow dryer, and in the back there you can see all of the white-faced Sakis jumping around, which might give you the idea that yes, this is indeed another walkthrough. The entire tropical house is free for the Saki to explore. And now you might think like, okay, yeah, we've seen so many walkthrough enclosures as well, we get it. But what I find interesting about this one is just how many animals there are in here that the Saki could just get to if they wanted to, that I have some questions about, like the leafcutter ants over here. What if the Saki decided to sit on that branch? What will happen? Like, I don't know. That's pretty interesting to me. And there's more coming up. But yeah, really cool to have a leafcutter ant enclosure in there. That's definitely something that inspired me for Keypark. This entire area inspired me a lot for Keypark, which we'll see when we get to build in Keypark again with these new animals. Looking forward to that. But yeah, next up we have another enclosure. This one is for the tamandua, and we haven't seen that mix with the White-faced Saki. But yeah, technically I feel like the White-faced Saki could just get into this tamandua enclosure and just vibe with the tamandua if they want to. Maybe they don't. I don't know. But yeah, and over here there's a little separate island with some climbing frames on it, and that's actually where it's signed that this is a White-faced Saki, and be careful for the free-roaming White-faced Saki is also what the sign says. In the middle of the tropical house there is a little staircase that you can take up, and there's also a sign there, careful, the White-faced Saki do bite. So yeah, don't mess with them, I guess. Which is why I had to take the same stairs down, because there was a White-faced Saki just sitting here on the staircase and not really letting me pass, and they were not going to move. Another interesting animal right here is that there is a caiman enclosure just completely opened up. The Saki could just get in there, which you might think is not safe. I don't know, I have some questions about that, but I guess it's all going well, and I definitely will be doing the same in Tierpark because it's freaking awesome. Yeah. And there on the staircase, you can see the Saki is still being a menace, blocking everyone. But yeah, here that little island with the climbing frame from the other side, and then we are already almost at the exit. There's another tortoise enclosure right here, and we've lots of climbing frames above it. Probably not for the tortoise, but actually where we saw all of the Saki sitting when we came into this space right here. So yeah, really cool tropical house right there. Absolutely love it. But that's it for Krefeld. Next up we have the Zoo of Leipzig, and just like at BergZoo Halle, we are starting off at the entrance because once again the white-faced Saki is an entrance animal here. It's actually the very first animal that you come across over here on the left as you walk into the zoo. There's these small monkey islands, and this one over here is for the white-faced Saki, and it looks so freaking beautiful. It's not that big, but I love the back wall right there. I'm definitely going to steal that. That looks so freaking cool. And yeah, there's a second island here for the Emperor Tamarin, but yeah, just to give you the full picture of this small area, showing them both. It's not like it's that long, but yeah, amazing stuff right there. Then over here at the Zoo of Lille, the white-faced Saki are in this kind of street right after the entrance where they have all sorts of enclosures that are all not the best in my opinion. This one's quite similar to the one we saw in Amsterdam, right? It's just a big glass viewing area into kind of a box. There is lots of foliage here, that's quite nice. There's lots of climbing frames and ropes, but yeah, nothing too spectacular right here. So let's move on to the next zoo. This is the Zoo of Magdeburg, where we are walking past the tapir enclosure and entering the tapir house, the indoor area for the tapir. And we see some Galapagos giant tortoises right there, but also in the background we can see something scurry across the floor. What's that? It's not a white-faced Saki, it's actually a red-bellied tamarin, which was really quite curious right here. But yeah, they are free roaming, just like the white-faced Saki. They're also free roaming in this tapir house. I didn't see any, but the signs said that they should be here, along with the tapirs, along with this toad, although I don't think the Sakis would interact with the toad very much. As you can see, the bottom space here is for the tapir, where the monkeys have all this space on top with all of those climbing frames. As far as I know, the monkeys don't really have any outdoor enclosure, at least I couldn't see them. When you go outside of this building, there is a whole bunch of other monkey enclosures for other types of tamarin and stuff like that, but I don't see anything for the red-bellied tamarin or the white-faced Saki that are in this building. So yeah, that was it for Magdeburg. Now we are in Zoo de Maubeuge, where the white-faced Saki are a little bit hidden away. We've got this beautiful building over here. That's not for the white-faced Saki though, but I wanted to show it because it looks pretty cool. Like even if you look inside, this is for a different kind of monkey, but you can see all these climbing frames. It looks cool. The Saki are in here though, however. Well, not in here. This is don't worry, this isn't their enclosure. This is just the keeper access that has like 2 doors so that they don't escape. And then over here is the main enclosure. So interestingly, the Saki here are actually kept together with all sorts of macaws, which is a pretty cool mix, and pretty cool that is apparently a feasible thing to do. We've got several types of macaw, and then you can see the sign for the Saki. We can also see the Saki all the way in the back there, just kind of chilling or being aware. We also have Southern Screamer right there, a pretty cool species too. Then next up we have Tierpark de Oliemeulen, where I didn't do a very good job at recording this habitat, I'm afraid. Don't worry, you're not missing too much. It's just this quite small cage filled with foliage, so you can barely see anything anyway. If you're lucky, you can see the Saki kind of just chilling over there in part of the climbing frame. But yeah, the enclosure isn't too great, to be honest, so you didn't miss much. So let's move to something a little bit better. Let's go to Pairi Daiza and enter this big old greenhouse over here, which is called the Oasis. And I will say the welcome here was a little odd. It was a bit of a messy place, but once you walked inside further and got to all of the exhibit, it is quite a vibe. I started out by going up these staircases and along this rope bridge, which already gives us a view into, you guessed it, the white-faced Saki enclosure, which is right there, damn smack in the middle of the building, kind of the centerpiece of it all, I suppose. And it's just a lovely little island with a moat around it, also some fishies swimming around, and we can see on the island the white-faced Saki kind of just big chillin' there. You can also see this airplane wing sticking out of the island, like an airplane's crashed in there. A lovely little bit of theming. Yeah, you've got that long walking bridge around, and here is the exit of a path, so we can't go in there. So we first have to make our way all the way around until we get to this point over here, where we get another view of the enclosure. We can see the plane a little bit more up close, and we see another Saki sitting there next to this this bit of a shelter box. As you keep going, you get to this split in the road. The right side goes back to the staircase going up, and if you go left, you get to this little path that goes even closer around the little island. You go through all of these little caves with even more viewing points. There's a little waterfall that you actually walk behind in a moment, but yeah, here you get kind of on a lower down, bringing us to the same level as the animals, which personally is usually my favorite kind of viewing experience. It's cool to be up high in the trees with the monkeys, but also having to look up at them. I mean, they don't even go that high up here because there isn't that much height to this enclosure, but you get what I mean. It's cool. But yeah, that kind of brings us to the exit of the path, which was also the part where we couldn't enter when we got off of the rope bridge. This is where the path leads into. So that brings us to the Zoo of Planckendael. And here we are entering a walkthrough area for golden-headed lion tamarins. Really awesome species, and also a pretty cool enclosure. It's just a pretty large island with a moat around it, and yeah, you can walk around freely. The monkeys can climb around. They've got all of these rope bridges between all of the trees, little platforms for them to sit on, ropes, but of course they can also just walk around over the ground. They are completely free to go wherever they please on the little island. Here's some education signs, and you can see the golden-headed lion tamarins walking around. Such an amazing species, and yeah, they can chill here with the Saki during feeding time. The Saki seem to be a little bit more careful than the tamarins are, but yeah, it is really, really awesome. And then here, once again, we have some backstage views as well, and again, we can see these pretty sterile, like easy to clean enclosures with some climbing frames, some perches, and things like that. And then next up, the second to last zoo already, the Zoo of Wildlands. And once again, we are at the entrance of the zoo, because right after you come into the zoo through the entrance and you head right, the first animal you encounter is the White-faced Saki, or at least the combination of White-faced Saki with other monkeys as well on this island over here, which again is a walkthrough. So we've got a little moat, we cross a little bridge, and then we can walk around freely in this space that the monkeys also occupy. And there we can already see one of the cohabitants. It's the Emperor Tamarin once again. Never a bad thing to see. They were so freaking cool and cute with their little ebon mustaches. And yeah, here on the education side you can see the other animal that they share this space with, which is the golden tamarin. Golden lion tamarin, I should say. Once again, yeah, also a really beautiful species right there. This enclosure actually has quite a few things for you to explore, like this little staircase going up into the temple, where you can get pretty close to the monkeys in all of the trees and see them kind of head on, which is pretty great. And then as you go back down, we can see there's a little outdoor area for them over here as well, with this backstage door, which is also beautifully themed. This whole area is beautifully themed, I should say. And this outdoor enclosure is also here for the Azaris agouti, which share this enclosure with all the monkeys, but the agouti cannot get out of this and walk in the free roaming area as far as I know. And then here is some indoor enclosures, also lovely theming right here with all of the temple theme, and there we can see the agouti walking around. Last time I was here they actually had some babies as well, which is really, really awesome. And yeah, here we can see the Saki also sitting inside. I've never seen the Saki outside, sadly. I haven't really been able to take very good pictures of them here quite yet, always under the artificial light of the indoor area. But yeah, super awesome. And as you make your way back out, you can see all of that theming and all of the foliage around. And yeah, this is completely made escape proof with just some bits of hot wire around those walls over there, which is also pretty interesting that they can't get out anywhere right there. But yeah, that's it for Wildlands. And then last but certainly not least, we are going to Zooparc Overloon. And we just came out of a little flamingo aviary, and now we are walking into the outdoor habitat of the White-faced Saki, as well as once again golden lion tamarin and also two-toed sloth. And yeah, they've got a pretty nice netted over outdoor enclosure that you can walk through. Over here on the left, we can actually see the Saki sitting outside, or well, partially outside. This is the most outside I've ever seen anything. I've never seen the lion tamarin outside. I've never seen the sloth outside. Interesting, over here is a nice education sign about breeding programs, because Zooparc Overloon is actually the stud bookkeeper of the White-faced Saki. So here is a little game that you can play where you have to find the best partner for this female White-faced Saki, which male would produce the best young, and I guess the game has been played properly because this zoo recently got some young White-faced Saki born, which is awesome, absolutely adorable, of course. I haven't seen them myself, but it's really cool that it happened. Here we are, of course, in the indoor area of this zoo, where you can also see the other monkeys climbing around, being all curious and interacting with the White-faced Saki as well right there. And yeah, while the building isn't the most complicated thing or anything, it's just very standard rectangular greenhouse. It is dressed up quite nicely, the support beams being covered with these pieces of wood, also supporting the climbing frames. In here we also have a view of the caiman, the spectacled caiman enclosure, which you can see is netted off from the monkeys. The monkeys cannot leave this space over here, so they also cannot get to the other enclosures that are, well, beyond these doors over here. And then over here on the left is a really cool little area. There's this table with a bowl, which the zookeepers will put food into, and it's so much fun to see the White-faced Saki in particular interact with this, because the way that they tend to eat, it just makes them look so mischievous. It looks like they're taking candy from the bowl that only says, please only take one, and they're going back like, oh, what if I take another one? Oh, is this allowed? Oh, let me quickly get out of the way. Oh. What if I take one more? They just look like they're performing a heist or something. It's so freaking adorable. I absolutely love these animals. So really excited to see them in the game. But that is going to be it for Zooparc Overloon, and that's also going to be pretty much it for this video. Oh yeah, over here in this box you can see the two-toed sloth chilling there every now and then as well, that the Saki shared our enclosure with. But yeah, that's gonna be it for me. Hope you enjoyed, hope you got some White-faced Saki inspiration, and I hope you look forward to the new DLC. I think I do. I really like the pics, not all of them maybe, but definitely is some stuff in there that I would love to add to my zoo. So we're gonna do that as soon as the DLC comes out. I'll probably be live sometime streaming some Tierpark. So yeah, hope you look forward to that. See you around. And the next video will probably be either the bush dog or the ocelot. So look forward to that as well. Bye bye!